reminded us the true teachers are those who help us to think for ourselves. And I believe I am surrounded with not just one, but all of you who really help your students to think for themselves. So our role is more of a mentor, a facilitator. And I hope all the professors are able to see the slide. And thank you. I love to connect with you, and we'll move forward in the session. Yes, so let's proceed. And the focus of the next part for the next 1 hour will be on climate commitment of corporates in the 21st century. I repeat, climate commitment of corporates for the 21st century, and what exactly our roles of academician. And as you can see, our time is running out, and we all have to act together. So that's why the message is act now, because our time is running out. So on that note, I think once again I welcome all the respected participants of this refresher course, and we will move forward together. And the focus of the session will be about climate commitment of corporates in the 21st century, and what is that role we are supposed to perform. And directly, indirectly, I think all of us are going to be affected by it. And that's why the time is running out act now. So chaliye aage badhte hain. And when we talk about it all starts with a dream, and there is a famous saying that if you can dream it, you can do it. I request all the respected professors to kindly check on the slide once. And I think if you check on the slide, hopefully you'll be able to connect with it. If you can dream it, you can do it. Since we all are back from a break, I will have a simple question in the chat box to see once again whether your chat option is working or not. So my request is, we were seeing that slide where it says, if you can dream it, you can do it. So इसी से जुड़ा होगा मेरा अगला request आप सभी से. And it is a very simple one. My question is, do we remember the dream we saw last night? अगर आपको किसी को याद है कि what exactly the dream you saw last night, you can write a yes. अगर आपको नहीं भी याद है, so you can write no. So kindly just quickly respond, please. Yes, I can see it's common that many of us, hopefully we had a very peaceful sound sleep, so we don't remember what exactly, just like Professor Jyoti, Professor Manjula, thank you, Professor Anantaraju, sir is there, Professor Vijendra, thank you very much for your prompt responses. I think this is natural that many a time we don't remember what exactly the dream, if at all, or even if we don't have dreams. But if anybody happen to remember little bits and pieces, you can also write that in the chat box. But as of now, the prompt responses happens to be no. So let's move forward, because when we talk about dreams, it can be a personal dream, it can be dream for the entire nation, it can be dream from the entire global community. So in that context, I think we started off with this thought process. Professor, I think Nalina is also saying no. Thank you very much, all the respected professor. Chaliye aage badhte hain, and I hope as we move forward, we will connect with the dream. But if not the dream, but I hope all of us hopefully might have come across this thought process, which comes from none other than our very own beloved late president, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. And मुझे उम्मीद है कि you all might have come across this thought process, and जरूर आप अपने students को भी हमेशा यही कहते रहते होंगे, what exactly is the dream? Because when we were talking about dream, it is not only just a personal dream. It can be for an organization, it can be for a country, and it can be also for the global community at large. So it talks about dreams is not what you see in sleep. I repeat, dreams is not what you see in sleep. It's the thing which doesn't let you sleep. And I hope all of us, those who are in the session, if you have seen this thought process earlier, if you are सहमत होंगे अगर आप इससे, you can give me a signal by raise of hands, please. So let me see how many of you, Professor, you might be aware about this thought process, and then if you agree to it, you can just give me a raise of hands, please. Professor Shruti, thank you. Dr. Mamta once again is giving a raise of hands. I will expect all the professors, whoever is in the session. Dr. Salma, thank you. Professor Vanita's hand is going up. Wonderful to see quick responses coming from all the respected professor one by one. And I think the list will go on. Professor Girish, thank you very much. Professor Vijendra is also there with us with sir's response. Dr. Ramesh, welcome to the session, and nice to get a response from Professor Pavani also. Professor Vijendra had already given. Professor Lokesh sir is there with us since morning. Thank you very much, sir. So let's proceed because आज का जो session है right now we're talking about climate commitments of corporates and we need to connect with the broad picture. You see, we are talking about life and as academician, how exactly we are connected. मुझे पता है कि some of you might be connected directly by way of your research or maybe by way of your expertise. But for the rest, I think still we have to act as a human being, as maybe a citizen of this nation. So from there, we are trying to connect with it. So let's proceed. And I hope when we talk about life, because this is connected with your life, my life. So how do we like to take our life forward? Do we live for years? Do we live for months? Do we live for days or even something else? So I will request all the professor एक बार देख लीजिए, kindly have a look at the slide and then I think I'll wait for me to drop a request in the chat box and आप जरूर इसका आंसर दीजिए. My request is, do we live for years, months or days or even something else also? So let me see what exactly is your take. Uh, I hope everybody will be able to answer this one. The fastest response is coming from Professor, I think, Vijendra, who has said years ke hisab se. Thank you, sir. Professor Ananta Raju had also said years ke hisab se. Professor Afsar is saying years. Thank you. Professor Jyoti ma'am was also written in terms of years. Professor Arjun is talking about years. Professor Dr. Salma is also writing years. Dr. Deepak, I think, is writing years. Thank you. आप जरूर अपना आंसर दीजिए. There is no one answer that will be correct. It's your life and how do you want to take it forward. Dr. Ramesh is also writing years. Professor Prakash, thank you for your response. Anyone else, if you want to drop your response, I hope you are most welcome to drop it. Dr. Mamta, wonderful interpretation. Ma'am is saying you also live through our generation. Very true. And I think from there we were going to connect with the focus of the session. Professor Bhavya had also talked about days ke hisab se. Professor Shruti, once again, I think had given a very thoughtful observation in the chat box. We live for each moment measured in terms of years, months, or days. Absolutely spot on. Thank you so much, Professor Shruti, ma'am, for your wonderful take on that aspect. And when we talk about it, you see, आज का जो session है, it is focusing on climate commitments of corporates. Corporates, what exactly they are doing or they are about to do. So that is one aspect. And what exactly your and my role will be, because time is running out. And your dream, we started off with, we will connect with the next few slides, why we started off with dream and life. Because these are all connected with our life and dreams of not just us, but our next generation also, as rightly pointed out by Dr. Mamta. Thank you very much. And I hope when we look at it, any more responses coming, I think I'll wait for another 30 seconds and then move forward. You see, some of you have also mentioned in terms of days, and I think Professor Shruti ma'am had mentioned in terms of moments. So, हर किसी के जीवन के साथ ये सब terms are related. So let's look into the next one, and I hope Professor Akshata is also going to respond on that request. Here is the next slide. How do we want to take our life forward? And it's your life, life of your students. So they are free to try and take it forward in their own way. As I said, it's not a close-ended question. It can be in terms of years, it can be in terms of months, in terms of days, or even something else. Or we can leave for maybe some special moments. ये भी हो सकता है. So I would request all the respected professors, because you see, each one of you are attending the session with your rich experiences and all. So when we look at your life, मेरा humble request है आप सभी से, can we think of any memorable moments? It can be both from your professional world or even it can be from your personal life. So that's why I've written nothing official about it. So let's try and figure out once again in the chat box. I will request you for you to quickly respond. Any memorable moment from your life? It can be both from your professional world, हो सकता है getting your PhD, getting your first job. It can be maybe getting your first book published, or it can be from your personal life also, getting to find your life partner. It can be maybe having a baby born in the family, making your parents proud. कुछ भी हो सकता है. And as I expected, I can see Professor Vijendra fastest finger once again, getting the first job as I expected. Thank you. I think that's a really special moment for Professor Vijendra. Yes, we have Professor Bhavya recalling the childhood memories and the days that is also there. Yes, rest of the professors, I think Professor Afsar is also talking about getting a government job. Professor Dr. Mamta is saying the first job is really special. Professor Deepa has mentioned school days also, Professor Mother. I think Professor Pravitra is talking about childhood memories. These are all still intact in our mind and all. And yes, any more responses, please drop your responses. Professor Jyoti is talking about getting the first job. That is wonderful. So this happens to be also Professor Srinivasan talking about school days and all. So हर किसी के जीवन के साथ अगर आप देखेंगे, these terms are very much connected. When we talk about your life of our students, हर एक जगह में आपको देखने को मिलेगा कि these points are very meaningful and these are connected with our life. And the session is all about the broad aspect of life, and from there the climate commitment aspect will definitely come into the picture. So you and me, I think we all are aware about the SDGs. And I think आप जरूर अपने students को भी encourage करते होंगे to try and maybe do their research and all connected with either of those SDGs, which are more or less very important aspect. You see, we talked about a dream, and this was a dream way back in 2015, keeping the 2030 deadline in mind. So the global community, if you see, not just one nation, it was that historic UN summit when I think the all the nations, in fact, of the world, they actually connected and came together. They talked about maybe setting a target for 2030. And there were 17 sustainable development goals, which we call the SDGs, that were identified by the world leaders in that September 2015 historic UN summit, which officially came into force, I think, on 1st of Jan 2016. So why I said act now, time is running out, because we are right now in 2024. Hardly there are just around 5-6 years left before it might be too late. So as an academician, as maybe a citizen of this nation, whether it's our area of expertise or not, that doesn't matter. But I think we all need to act some way or the other and make our students aware about all this. And मुझे उम्मीद है कि there are a lot of professors who might be doing it in your respective classes, in your colleges, institute, universities. So please remember about the sustainable development goals and when exactly and what is the dream. So we were talking about. So these are the 17 sustainable development goals. And if I request you, what exactly is it? You see, over the next 15 years, with these new goals that universally apply to all, countries will mobilize effort to end all forms of poverty. They will all direct and work together to fight inequalities and tackle climate change while ensuring that no one is left behind. So आज का हमारा जो session है, today's focus is on the third aspect. You see, how and what kind of initiative different corporate houses are taking or they are planning to take to try and tackle climate change. So which is actually a concern for the whole planet, Mother Earth. So that is what I think we are going to try and experience ourselves. We might be a professor of economics, might be a professor of commerce, management, finance, HR, marketing, whatever. But ultimately, end of the day, I think we have to try and see that we do have a role to play in this context. So let's try and move forward. And I hope I'll request you to try and drop a message in the chat box. Are we interested to watch a short video in this context? Because मुझे उम्मीद है कि we all are aware about the sustainable development goals, and hopefully we need to try and remind our students about it. So if you are interested in watching a short video connected with it, I hope you'll be able to try and recall about all those 17 sustainable development goals. Yes, Professor Vagalakshmi, Dr. Vagalakshmi, welcome to the session. Dr. Salma is there with a response. Professor Nalina is there all throughout. Thank you very much for your responses. Professor Vijendra sir is there. And I can see responses coming from all the professors. Professor Jyoti is also dropping a response. Professor, I think Chandappa is also dropping. Professor Deepak, thank you very much. So let's move forward. And as we move forward, I think we will connect with the 17 sustainable development goals, and जिसके बारे में शायद आप सभी को पता है, and you must be telling your students. So just have a look at it, and after that, I think we will watch the next video connected with the 17 sustainable development goals. So here comes the slide. Let me share that one first with all of you, and I hope it is visible. Can you unmute and confirm अगर आपको दिख रहा है on your screen the 17 sustainable development goals?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
And
Sir, can you
thank
please?
you.
Okay. Sir.
Yeah, it is appearing. Thank you, ma'am. You see, these are the 17 sustainable development goals, and you'll see that some way or the other, we are connected with it. I'll just help you. First one talks about no poverty. The second one talks about zero hunger. And a lot of social startup has come up which are addressing these issues and all. Good health and well-being for all and all. That is important. Quality education. If you see in our country, as academician, we do have a role to try and see that we offer quality education, not just at the higher education level, but also at the grassroots level. A lot of government project, a lot of NGO supported activities, and also on a personal level, you and me, we have a role to play. Gender equality के बारे में UGC is also having a lot of things to offer, and मुझे पता है कि you are also telling those things to your students and all. Clean water and sanitization, I think, is also very important. On the other hand, we are talking about affordable and clean energy. So this is all very, very important. The next one, talking about point number 8, talks about decent work and economic growth. Then we talk about industry, innovative and infrastructure. And then we talk about reduced inequality when it comes to goal number 10. The next one, I think, sustainable cities and communities is 11. You and me, if you connect with point number 12, I think this is very, very impactful, which talks about responsible consumption and production. As a consumer, in the first part today, we were treating ourselves as consumer, not as professors. And if you connect with goal number 12, you see what all initiatives companies are taking that is coming under responsible production. But as a consumer, how much are we aware of? How much are we conscious? How much we are accepting things which are sustainable? So this is what we need to remind our students also, which is goal number 12. Point number 13 also is one of the most important aspect जिसके बारे में हम आज बातचीत करेंगे, which is about climate action and the role of different corporate houses. Life below water and life on land, goal number 14 and 15, equally important. And we talked about business war in the first part, but it is actually more of peace, justice, and strong institution, goal number 16. And partnering or partnership for the goals among the nation. So let's try and watch that short video. And I think once we look at it, आपको जरूर लगेगा कि yes, we all hopefully knew about it. And next time you are doing some mentoring of your students, maybe directly, indirectly, you can bring this up. And मुझे उम्मीद है कि आप जरूर ये कर चुके होंगे. So watch carefully. I'll share the video with all of you, and उसके बाद I'll request you once again to look into the chat box. So here comes the next one, and जरूर इससे आपको video दिखेगा. Just a second, I'll play the video with all of you. So just give me a second. I'll play the video with all of you. Yeah, here comes the video for all of you. Yeah, thank you. Please watch out for the video. I'm sharing it. I request Professor Harish to mute yourself, please. Thank you, Professor Harish. I think Professor Harish might have unmuted. Kindly mute yourself.
Yes, student
We watched the video. I think, yeah, Professor Harish somehow has unmuted. Kindly mute yourself. Yeah, that would be nice. Watch carefully, please. I hope you are able to hear the audio. Are we hearing the audio, please? Can you confirm?
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Watch it.
Yes, sir.
In September 2015, the United Nations made history when 193 member states unanimously adopted 17 Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs, that serve as the centerpiece of its post-2015 development agenda. The goals are: no poverty, end poverty in all its forms everywhere; zero hunger, end hunger, achieve food security and improve nutrition, and promote sustainable agriculture; good health and well-being, ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all at all ages; quality education, ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all; gender equality, achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls; clean water and sanitation. Ensure availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all. Affordable and clean energy. Ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy for all. Decent work and economic growth. Promote sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment, and decent work for all. Industry, innovation, and infrastructure. Build resilient infrastructure, promote inclusive and sustainable industrialization, and foster innovation. Reduced inequalities. Reduce income inequality within and among countries. Sustainable cities and communities. Make cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. Responsible consumption and production. Ensure sustainable consumption and production patterns. Climate action. Take urgent action to combat climate change and its impacts by regulating emissions and promoting developments in renewable energy. Life below water. Conserve and sustainably use the oceans, seas, and marine resources for sustainable development. Life on land. Protect, restore, and promote sustainable use of terrestrial ecosystems, sustainably manage forests, combat desertification, and halt and reverse land degradation and halt biodiversity loss. Peace, justice, and strong institutions. Promote peaceful and inclusive societies for sustainable development, provide access to justice for all, and build effective, accountable, and inclusive institutions at all levels. Partnerships for the goals. Strengthen the means of implementation and revitalize the global partnership for sustainable development.
So I hope all of us, we got to watch those 17 goals. And in that context, I think I'll request you to please raise your hands if you were able to watch the video. अगर आपको वीडियो दिखाई दिया एक बार प्लीज हाथ ऊपर कर दीजिए. Give me a signal that yes, we all got to watch the video. Those who were obviously there in the session, I hope you might have watched the video. So kindly just quickly give me a raise of hands, because from there I move on to the next one. And once again, I'll request all of you. Thank you very much. I can see Professor Nalin. I can see Dr. Ramesh. Thank you very much, Professor Akshata. I can see Professor Lokesha sir also giving a raise of hands. Professor Bhagalakshmi, Dr. Bhagalakshmi is also there. My question is next one. Please do drop an answer in the chat box. Are we aware about kindly check the chat box. Are we aware about this Paris Agreement? अगर आपने सुने होंगे इसके बारे में, you can write a yes. If not, please also don't hesitate. Drop a quick no, because अगले 2 minutes के अंदर we will definitely try and move on to the next topic then. Yes, as we are seeing the responses appearing very fast, I am thankful to all of you, those who are dropping it very fast, because as expected, some of us hopefully might be aware about it. One or two of us might have heard of it, but not right now able to recall. That is what I can assume. Thank you. I can see Professor Vinoda. Thank you, Professor Nalin, Professor Anantaraju. Thank you very much. And I think, yes, Professor Vijendra has also given a response. Professor Lokesha, thank you as expected. So चलिए एक बार 2 मिनट के अंदर देख लेते हैं कि what exactly the Paris Agreement is all about, and how we do have a role in our own way as academician in that aspect. So here comes the next slide. And I hope after looking at it, we all will be able to try and remind our students what is this Paris Agreement all about. So just give me a second. I'll share the screen, and after that, I think we will try and check it out. If you see, when we talk about the Paris Agreement, it will be once again a chota sa short clipping, and that will help us connect. And hopefully those who knew about it, you will be able to think that, yes, I already knew about it. So just hang on for a second, and we will move on to the next portion. So here comes the Paris Agreement का जो छोटा सा clipping है. I hope you will be able to connect with it. Just allow me to share the screen once again, and we talk about the Paris Agreement in the form of another audio visual, and hopefully it will be heard by everybody.
What is the Paris Agreement?
Are we hearing what is the Paris Agreement? The audio is heard.
Yes,
Yeah.
Thanks
Yes,
a lot,
sir.
sir.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh,
Please watch it. Yeah. Please watch it.
The Paris Agreement is a legally binding international treaty on climate change to limit global warming to well below 2, preferably to 1.5 degrees Celsius compared to pre-industrial levels. This requires economic and social transformation to face the climate challenges now and moving into the future based on the best available science. The Paris Agreement works on a 5-year cycle of increasingly ambitious climate action. By 2020, countries communicate their plans known as nationally determined contributions. Countries communicate actions they will take to reduce their greenhouse gas emissions in order to reach the goals of the Paris Agreement. Countries also communicate actions they will take to build resilience to adapt to the impacts of rising temperatures. This may include information on adaptation and finance flows. The Paris Agreement also provides a framework for financial, technical, and capacity building support to those countries who need it. Starting in 2024, countries report transparently on actions taken. Collective progress under the Paris Agreement will be assessed through a global stocktake. This will lead to recommendations for countries to set more ambitious plans in the next round.
So I hope we all understood what exactly is it. So this is from the United Nations. And so hopefully those who maybe might have seen it earlier, you knew about it in detail, I think wonderful. But those who maybe you might have heard somewhere, but now you're not able to recall, at least by watching this short audio visual, you came to know about it. So chaliye aage badhte hai, and as we move forward, I think life is a journey, you see. And when we are talking about dreams, why? Because nations have also had some dreams. And whether it is the SDGs or when we talk about maybe the Paris Agreement ka jo actual intention hai. So keeping that in mind, I think we will move forward. And as we move forward, I think next 2-3 slides will again give you an opportunity to look back at your life. And as we said that it is more of acting now. So let's try and take those slides, and then again we will open it up for a quick round of interaction. So life is a journey, and I think हर किसी के जीवन के साथ these two terms hopefully might be connected. So when we talk about life, it's like a journey. And when we look at life's journey, so let's try and travel together. So when we talk about life's journey, so these issues, the global issues at a macro level are got to be there. So when we talk about success and failure, time will tell whether as a nation, as maybe a citizen of this planet, we are able to achieve success by 2030, or maybe we would need more time to try and achieve that. But on a personal level, I think when we see our students, when we do the mentoring, when we try and look at our own maybe life, I think success and failure are two terms which we all are familiar with. But there might be plenty of examples of success from your life, and maybe 1 or 2 incident of failure also. But my question will be, how did you find the road towards success? Whatever is your definition of success, jo bhi aap sochenge, but how did you find the road towards success? That will be my question for all of you. So how did you find the road towards success? Because ho sakta hai ki it might be very easy, very smooth, as if a red carpet was laid for you, and then you have to walk over it and achieve success or tested success. Or maybe for 1 or 2 of us, it might be so that we had to go through a little bit of hard work, with little bit of struggle, and maybe with a lot of determination, dedication, then only we tested success. So when you talked about getting your first job, a government job, or maybe getting your first book published, kuch bhi, I think how did you find those roads in front of you? Agar aap humse puchenge, I will say that the road to success is almost always under construction. I repeat, if you ask me, I'll say the road to success is almost always under construction. I know a lot of professors are vastly busy with a lot of professional commitment, as well as a lot of commitment in your personal life, but still you are attending the refresher course, you're giving time to the session. And I'm really, really thankful to all of you, because you are in a process, hopefully laying the road for your next destination, whether in the form of career advancement or holistic development, what we can look for. So at this juncture, I will request all the professor kindly check the chat box once again, and you will definitely love to answer this question because it is connected with your life. And only thing that can stop you from answering is maybe you might have a bad technology or maybe network issues. So this is, I think, a simple question which everybody would love to answer. My question is for all of you, what has life taught you? Is there any shortcut formula to success? What has life taught you and what is that you tell your students? So can you just quickly respond, please? Is there any shortcut to success? जीवन ने आपको क्या lesson दिया है? From there you can answer this one. And as I said, the only thing that can stop us from answering this one is hopefully we are having a very bad network or maybe some kind of a technical glitch. Fastest response, Dr. Mamta, as expected. Thank you. No. Professor Vijendra is also saying no. Thank you, Dr. Deepika. I think sorry, Dr. Deepak is saying no. Professor Pravitra is also saying no. Professor Vanita, thank you. Professor Arjun, welcome to the session and nice to get a response from you. Professor Arjun is talking about continuous learning. Absolutely, life is like a learning experience. Professor Arjun is absolutely spot on. Professor Fernandez is saying no. Thank you, Professor Bhavia. I can see responses from Professor Jyoti also is a no. So as academician, at least on this question, negative also translate into something positive. All of us are saying no, but I think it actually gives me a lot of positive vibes. Professor Akshata is saying, yes, keep on learning. That is a message. I think it's a continuous process from Professor Nalin. Absolutely spot on. I think there is also Professor Dr. Ashwini saying no shortcut, but also some word of advice from Dr. Ashwini, like consistency and patience. Absolutely, I agree with both what is referred by Dr. Ashwini. Thank you, Professor. I think Professor, yes, Malappa is writing about getting knowledge by learning, only the way to success. Very true. Thank you. Success is progressive. This is a response from Professor Shruti. And I think, yes, progressive realization of a worthy idea. Yes, very true. We talk about perpetual learning. That is from Professor Shashidhara. Yes, Dr. Shashidhara. And we have Professor Manjuta also talking about the importance of hard work. Chaliye, you have given me enough confidence to try and present the next slide because I was wondering, should I present it or not? Because you only told me there are no shortcut formula for success. So if there are no shortcut, I think Professor Dr. Soumya is talking about continuous learning, absolutely spot on with dedication, hard work, and commitment. I think I cannot agree more than what ma'am has said here, Dr. Soumya. Thank you. So let's look at the next one, and hopefully it's coming from only feedback received from all the respected professors who are in the session. So mera question tha, how is the road to success? Is there any shortcut to success? I think you have told me no, and also given some word of suggestion. So what has life taught me for the last 20 years in the advertising world as well as in the academic scenario? I think I'm sharing with you all. It's just a clockwise manner. Aapko sirf dekhna hai. And if you see, we start with hard work. Some of you must say that, yes, we need to start with smart work in 21st century. That also is fine. And I will request you to please move in a clockwise manner. आप घड़ी के तरह अगर घूमेंगे from your right, I think you will understand. Why should somebody work hard? आप और हम हमारे students को हर वक्त याद दिलाते रहते हैं कि you need to try and work hard or smart because you want to improve. And in order to improve, what is that we require? We need to have a clear focus in front of us. We need to have focus. Without focus, whatever you do, I think you will not be able to try and connect well. So next comes, I think, the passion. And I'm really honored and thankful to see the kind of passion with which all the professors since morning you are connected in this course today, and the way you have come forward and shared your experiences and maybe observations of life. So that passion is intact. And then comes the push. And once again, I'm thanking all of you because nobody has pushed you to join the refresher course. Yes, there might be some official little bit of commitment, but fir bhi, I think it's more of your motivation, drive, urge that has brought you here for this course today. So that is what is important in all walks of life. And आप जरूर अपने students को भी यही याद दिलाते रहते होंगे. You and me, you see, we all are connected with higher education setup of the country, and that is actually in the service sector. As in the beginning of the session, you came to know I represent St. Xavier's College, Kolkata. And dekhte, we are in the 164th year of our existence. And it's a Jesuit institute in Kolkata, and it was founded in 1860. And Hamara jo principal hai, respected Father Dr. Dominic Xavier, he always reminds us the importance of serving our students and the organization, because that is the motto with which we work, which is called Nihil Ultra, which means nothing beyond. And we expect our students to step out in the outside world and act as men and women for others. And I am really confident that आप भी जरूर ऐसा ही कुछ अच्छे सर्विस मोटिव के साथ अपने इंस्टीट्यूट यूनिवर्सिटीज में जाते होंगे एंड यू नर्चर योर स्टूडेंट्स विद लॉट ऑफ केयर एंड लॉट ऑफ मे बी यू गिव द राइट काइंड ऑफ गाइडेंस, जो आज पता चला आपसे बातचीत करते हुए. Next comes your unique ideas. You see, in the first part of the session, we saw how different companies are having innovative ideas to communicate with you and me, whether it was Amazon, whether it was maybe Fevicol, or maybe for Cadbury, how they came up with something unique to try and put forward their message. So it should be your unique ideas, the way you try and go about identifying your research area, the way you try and take your classes, the way maybe you try and solve some administrative problems. So that will set you apart from the rest. And last but not the least, up or hum, certain times we might have to face criticism, we might have to go through rejection, we might have to try and take a lot of pressure, both at your personal and professional world, but still we have to continue moving hard. And that's why I think we will be able to achieve success. So I will request all the professor, if you are able to see the particular slide, the success will, can you confirm by raising your hand once? I think that will be a quick feedback from your side. The previous slide was visible to you. And I think that will be a nice way of getting a quick kind of a response from all of you. So slowly but steadily, I think we are coming to more or less the last 15 minutes of our session. And hopefully we are right now at a moment where I can see around 10, 12 hands have gone up who are actively able to raise their hands. And I'm thankful to all of them, Professor Lokesha, I think Dr. Ramesh, Dr. Mamta, everybody for that matter. And yes, so we are going for the first case study now, and we will look at an organization जिसके बारे में शायद सभी को पता है. And I hope everybody know the name of ITC. So ITC का बात आप सभी को पता है, and I think what exactly the steps they are taking connected with the sustainable development goals, उसके बारे में थोड़ा जानकारी लेंगे. And I hope next couple of minutes you'll be able to watch another short video also connected with the initiative taken by ITC. Thank you very much. I can see there are almost 10, 12 hands that have gone up. Thank you. Please lower it for the time being. Let's see the first case study, the initiative taken by the first organization, which is ITC. And I hope my slide is visible to all of you. Can you just confirm? Because
Yes, sir.
yeah,
sir. Visible, sir.
yeah. Thank you. So if you look at
Yes,
it,
sir.
the climate commitments of corporate, the first one, and what exactly the initiative taken by ITC. अगर आप देखेंगे ITC का क्या initiative है. You and me, we know the kind of product and the services they are actually offering to you and me. So I think it's a diversified organization having presence in FMCG. आज सुबह हमको पता चला FMCG के बारे में. अगर आपके घर में कोई EP ला रहा है, it's actually from ITC. If you are having Ashirwad atta in your house, it is from ITC. So these are all FMCG things. And then comes, I think, agriculture, hospitality, and also in the paper. And I think you might be seeing a lot of students using a classmate kind of a notebook or stationery item. So these are actually from ITC. So आपको जानकारी है, मुझे भी जानकारी है. So what exactly the initiative they are taking? So let's try and I think look at this case study of the first corporate. And I hope if you try and watch out for the screen, you'll be able to connect with it. I hope the slide is visible to all of you. Can you see the slide on ITC? Because from there we will move on to the next. So we will watch a very short video about the initiative of ITC, and आपको देखने के बाद पूरा पता चल जाएगा what exactly they are doing. So here comes the video from ITC and what is the initiative they have been taking. So just a second, I'll just share the screen with all of you, and all the aspects you will see coming from ITC, since it's a diversified organization. So I think you'll get under one example, a lot of aspects. Watch out for the ICT sustainability initiative. I hope you are hearing the audio.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Watch
yes, sir.
carefully. Yeah, watch carefully.
Yes, sir.
Which are the aspects they are covering? Have a look. So they are taking care about climate change. They are talking about environment. They are talking about income inequalities, food security also. I will request you to focus, all of you, if you are still there. These are the 9 critical sustainable development goals which the organization is actually trying to address. And I think some of those which we have already seen. Point number 12 is also about responsible consumption and production. And then point number 13, if you see, goal number 13 is all about climate action. Jiske baare mein, I think the focus of the session. So this was from the house of ITC. As we move forward, I think we will look at the next case study. So how exactly ITC was addressing it. So we have 1 or 2 more examples, and I'll wrap up with the next couple of those from both the product as well as from service sector organization. So let's move on to the next one. And by now, everybody knows the name of this organization. And in the first part today, we have addressed it also. This is from Hindustan Unilever. And what exactly the initiative HUL is taking in this regard? Have a look, please. I hope the slide is visible and you can see the initiative of Hindustan Unilever. You see,
Yes, sir.
they are committed to taking a smaller steps to collectively and positively impact climate change. So what kind of initiative Hindustan Unilever, being the largest FMCG company in the country, so what kind of initiative they are taking? So we need to try and have a look at that also. So when we talk about HUL, you see they are targeting net zero emission from all the products from sourcing to the point of sale by 2039. They are talking about reducing the greenhouse gas impact of their product across the life cycle by 2030. So these are dreams. You see, we started off with dreams, and dreams, as I said, can be for individual, it can be for a company, or it can be for the nation and maybe for the global community at large. So dreams, matlab, as Professor, I think respected Dr. Kalam talked about, is something which will not let you sleep. So that is going to be the true dream till we achieve those things. So this is the initiative of Hindustan Unilever. As we move forward, I think zero emission in their operations by 2030. That is the goal they have set for themselves. Not just about FMCG organization, but we also see a lot of service sector organization in the case study. Coca-Cola के बारे में सभी को पता है. I think they have also taken some initiative. When it comes to the Tatas, and once again, I think the name when it comes to Indian context and globally, we all know that they are into steel, they are into a little bit of automobiles, they are also into hospitality, they are also in the consumer business division with their range of products and all. And I think Tata Salt, they call it Desh Ka Namak in their tagline and all. So this is also, they are having they are talking of committed to zero carbon emission, or are being encouraged to decarbonize their manufacturing and operations. So Tata Group is also trying to do that. I think what exactly the initiative they are taking for themselves. Another example in the service sector, if you see, is coming from a leading organization in the banking sector, which is HDFC Bank. What is that they are trying to offer? You see, they happens to be India's leading private sector bank, and 1 or 2 people might also have some business transactions with them. They are committed to becoming carbon neutral by 2031 and 32. And when it comes to, I think the bank is also including the use of renewable energy like solar panels in its branches and large offices. And when it comes to consumers also, they are giving loans and all for EVs and all. The bank will also offer loans for product like electric vehicle and green building at lower interest rate. So these are different kind of initiative which different organizations are taking. with that objective, keeping in mind the sustainable development goals. And I think as academician, we also do have a role to create awareness among our students, and we ourselves, मुझे पता है कि some of us, if not everybody, we are also acting as a responsible citizen of this country and the whole nation. So let's watch a chota sa 20-second clipping from Tata, and with that I will try and hopefully offer it to you for a quick round of interaction and all. So this will be the last video from my side, only a 20 or 30-second clipping, and I hope you will get the message what exactly is coming from the house of Tata, and that too from Tata team. So एक बार आप देख लीजिए, उसके बाद I think I'll open it up for a quick round of interaction, observation, comments, if at all any questions. Because end of the day, I think we all have to act together. And when we talk about acting now, I think there are certain small steps that we need to take because our time is running out. So that's a very, very important one. So let's watch that clipping from the Tata T, and I hope some of you might have seen it also. Watch carefully. What is that the message coming forward from that video? So are we hearing the audio? Can you just confirm, please?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Watch it, watch it.
यस सर
क्या हुआ
क्या हुआ
Yes,
पापा?
sir.
वो देखो उबाल दिए हो
Yes, sir. Yes.
क्यों क्या हुआ पापा लाओ इसे
अंदर 2 डिग्री बढ़ने से नींद उड़ गई। बाहर जो प्लैनेट उबल रहा है, मेरे फ्यूचर का क्या होगा?
तुम्हारा फ्यूचर अरे आर यू फाइन प्रभु
हर साल गर्मी बढ़ती रही ना, तो कहीं सूखा, कहीं फ्लड्स, रोज होगा।
बेटा इसमें हम क्या करें क्लाइमेट चेंज हो रहा है
पढ़ा तो होगा नहीं आपने। पापा, क्लाइमेट चेंज से लड़ने के लिए हमें चेंज होना पड़ेगा। क्लाइमेट चेंज से हम कैसे लड़ सकते हैं, जानिए जागोरे.com पर।
गरम सिर्फ चाय अच्छी लगती है प्लेनेट नहीं
I hope we all understood what is a message coming from Tata tea, and chai sif garam अच्छे लगते हैं, but not maybe everything or even the mother earth. So on that note, I think I will just try and put up the last slide, and then we will move forward for a quick observations, comments, if at all, from all of you. So here comes the last slide from my side, and after that, I will open it up for a quick round of interaction. So I hope it will be visible to all of you. And so when we talk about acting now, so as academician, as maybe citizen, we need to remind our students of certain fundamental things. You see, these are all good things we all are aware of, and hopefully हमारे students को भी पता है. So we are talking about 5-minute shower. We are talking about maybe recycling, जिसके ऊपर बहुत सारे काम हो रहे हैं. We are talking about maybe refill and reuse. We are talking about bringing our own bag when we are going out for some shopping and other thing. And maybe we are going for sustainable fashions and things like that. Making use of local produce also. I think that is what Cadbury ad में हमको दिखाई दिया. So these are different actions that maybe our students and we all together can try and take collectively, so that I think when it's dark enough, then only we can see the stars. So I think we all have said that goal, that dream, that yes, Mother Earth, the planet should be there for our next generation. So on that note, I would like to thank each and everybody once again for being there all throughout. And I think